Every once in a while, you come upon a story that really shows how what news you watch and what poll you watch kind of shows how far, which direction you're leaning. And I have here Rear Clear Politics pulled up with a couple of the newest, latest polls. We'll switch back from this article to there to kind of show you. Generally, they're right, but we're going to kind of say how more right they could possibly be by showing Real Clear Politics. But let's read this, so pay attention. Bernie Sanders surges to a double-digit lead in new poll as Mike Bloomberg's campaign issues dire warning to nervous Democrats that the socialist may soon be unstoppable. Now, while I do agree that it's probably somewhere in the double digits, it's probably not as high as the 16 points that they're touting, but we'll get into that in just a second. Bernie Sanders surged to a 16-point lead in a new poll on the race for Democratic presidential nomination, as Michael Bloomberg's campaign issued a dire warning that the liberal senator may soon be unstoppable. Sanders leads Joe Biden 32% to 16% in a new Washington Post ABC News poll. So the poll that they are referencing is this one right here. Sanders up by 16 points. Now, Change Research has it as a tie, Biden and Sanders, and then Warren back over here and Buttigieg pretty much for third. Daily Mail has it as Warren and Buttigieg tied for second. The Economist, YouGov, and Emerson have Sanders ahead. So let's say that Sanders is probably ahead double digits, but it's more like 10. Insurmountable? No, not insurmountable in the least. An uphill battle? Yeah. Should the Democrats be sweating? Yeah. They do not want Bernie Sanders to win, trust me. I don't want Bernie Sanders to win either. I don't believe his policies are good. We don't have a moderate. We don't have a moderate Democrat. We don't have a moderate Republican. But when we're choosing between what appears is going to be our choices, it's either going to be Bernie Sanders or Buttigieg. I kind of want to say Bloomberg, but then again, I don't think so. There are a lot of questions. Bloomberg has said he's going to sell his, $60 billion business or something, but he's not going to put it into a blind trust like it's required. Now, when you look into that whole deal, I bet you're going to find that there are some pretty shady things going on there that are going to work against him on his campaign just on that business idea. You remember how they attacked Trump on his businesses and things like that? I kind of think we're going to find something a little bit shady into that. I am looking into that. There's a ton of paperwork. He is selling his $60 billion business, but he's not putting it into a blind trust. That raises a red flag for me there. What do you mean you're not putting it into a blind trust? What is the back end of the deal on that? But Pete Buttigieg dropped to single digits, coming in at 8% to Amy Klobuchar's 7%. And Klobuchar should have, okay, the DNC should force Amy out, or Amy should back out. They've got to consolidate, but who are they going to consolidate around? Is it going to be Bloomberg? I don't know. He's waiting. He's definitely spreading his money around. It kind of looks like he's going to attempt to buy the nomination. But Sanders does have the momentum, and he has the popular vote, and he has the name recognition. Bloomberg really effed up, in my opinion, by not participating and waiting until Super Tuesday. Does he have name recognition? Sure, Bloomberg has name recognition, but not like this, not like this. Even those little controversies, like the whole conspiracy theory of the whole Trump thing, the impeachment was all set up to keep Bernie Sanders off the campaign trail because he was required to be there. Even that little bit helps Bernie Sanders with name recognition. If Bloomberg jumped in and he even did just a couple little gaffes now and then, that would even help him. But he's waiting. Do I think that's a smart move? No, I don't. I think he should have been out there. He should have been visible. Is he going to buy the presidency? No, the nomination anyways. I believe he's going to try, but how are you going to do that when you don't have the good name recognition, Sanders also leads in the Rear Clear Politics polling average, which, yes, he does. I would put the Rear Clear Politics average at about 10. I'm not going to do the math because it's early in the morning, and, yeah, this is still full. I haven't even drank but a couple sips of it, so. But, yes, definitely double digits. I would say 10, maybe 11, but insurmountable, no. Definitely hard, absolutely. Do the Democrats need to consolidate? I've been saying it all along. Duh. Of course they're going to have to consolidate. But around who? And around what policy? The policy of who can beat Trump? Or the policy of who has better policies? Because you're not going to beat Trump with the person, you're going to beat Trump with the policies. I mean, the average moderate American doesn't give a crap who the person is. They care about what the person's going to do. How are you going to make the economy better than what Trump has made it? How are you going to improve America's position on the world stage? Are you going to make America bigger on the world stage, or are you going to back out and go more isolationist? Are you going to raise taxes? Are you going to lower taxes? What are you going to do for the infrastructure? What are you going to do for the future? What are you going to do about like space travel and sciences and the military? Are you going to expand the military spending? Are you going to cut back military spending? Bigger government, smaller? You see what I'm saying? It's not about the person. It's not about the man. It's about the position. The latest comes from Bloomberg's campaign, which issued a memo warning that Sanders may soon have amassed enough delegates that his nomination is inevitable. And if they go the route they're going right now, yes. Bernie is likely to open up a delegate lead that seems nearly impossible to overcome. Kevin Sheekey, Bloomberg's, or Sheekey, whatever, Bloomberg's top strategist wrote in the memo obtained by Axios. I don't think many people understand the dire circumstances here, and I don't think that they do. You've got too many of them on the field, number one, and you've got a solid base for each individual one. And then you've got Bernie Sanders with AOC, and now Bernie Sanders is mad at AOC for AOC talking about abolishing border security completely, which is the one thing that the Democrats were touting on when they said, hey, we want to abolish ICE. They're saying, hey, we don't want to abolish everything. It's only when we say that we want to abolish everything that it would say open borders. And here AOC, who was campaigning for Bernie Sanders, opens her mouth and says, yeah, we want to get rid of everything. Okay. Yes. Completely open borders and health care for all. What could possibly go wrong there? What could go wrong? The memo looks at the delegate count on the margin a candidate needs to meet to win the party's nomination. Bloomberg's strategy has focused on skipping the 4 early voting states of Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, and South Carolina in favor of the Super Tuesday contest. The 14 states that vote on March 3rd award 1/3 of the delegates needed for the nomination. If Sanders gets it and Sanders gets past Super Tuesday with 40-40, then yeah, he'll have it. There's no coming back from it. With the 40-40, they're so divided, Sanders will have it. If Sanders moves past Super Tuesday with the 40-40 delegate lead we currently project he will have, it will be all but impossible to stop him from getting to a plurality or even majority of the pledged delegates, the memo states. He'll get a majority. Come on. He'll get a majority. If he gets 40-40 and he's got that much momentum and you still have every single candidate on the field and none of them back out to consolidate votes around whoever the DNC chooses. The DNC doesn't want Sanders, so they're not going to go around Warren, I don't think. Bloomberg, he's got the money, so he's got the attraction, which really sucks. Money in politics, I don't believe in it. One of the left talking points that I agree with. Remember, I'm center. I agree with a little bit of the right, and I agree with a little bit of the left. I agree with good, what I believe, anyways, in my personal opinion, to be good policy. I don't care about the person. I don't care about if they're Democrat or Republican. I just care what their policies are. And I don't see them. I just who are they going to rally around? Which Democrat? Bloomberg's got the money, so I believe he's probably going to be the most appealing for the DNC. But strategically, who does the DNC want to rally around? I don't know. Maybe their best thing is to go to Bernie Sanders, rally around him, and try to walk back his talking points a little bit. for the general election. Maybe that's the strategy they should take. But either way, I don't know. I do see Sanders taking it. I do. The warning from Bloomberg's camp is aimed at Democratic fears that Sanders, a self-described socialist, would be too liberal for most voters in the general election, thus handing a second term to President Trump. Yeah, they're too liberal. They're too taxy, is what I think. And then, even within his own camp, you're all over the place. And you even have his own people that he does not condemn. He does not condemn when they say these things, that they're going to throw conservatives into re-education camps. Even if they're not, the audio and the visuals, Bernie, are horrible, and you need to condemn them. You need to. It also comes ahead of the next round of voting in the primary contest. Nevada on Saturday, South Carolina on February 29th, and the Super Tuesday states on March 3rd. Nevada and South Carolina, yes, they matter, but Super Tuesday is where we are going to see the light on who it's going to be. Democrats have cited the ability to beat President Donald Trump as one of their biggest factors in choosing a nominee. And that's the wrong strategy. It's the wrong way to go. You can't beat the man. You got to beat the man's policy. You don't beat the boxer when you're in a boxing ring. You beat his technique. Just saying. Democrats have cited... Moderate candidates... I apologize. Moderate candidates have used that against Sanders, and to a lesser extent, Elizabeth Warren, as fears increase the liberal senator from Vermont would not be able to beat the incumbent president. He won't. You get it to the primary. Okay? Primary. What am I talking about? You get it to the general election, and no. On his policies and on his taxes and on paper, things look great for an altruistic society. That's the appealing thing about socialism, is that on paper, it looks great. And it appeals to the masses. It appeals to the poor. It touts to the poor that we're going to bring you up. But what it does is it stifles advancement. Where can you go? It's like being in a company where the only person above you is the owner. The only person above you is the government. How much further can you advance? You can't. The next step up is the owner. The next step up is the government. You can't get higher than that. It stagnates growth. And there are a lot of immigrants from like Venezuela and other socialist countries that are genuinely scared because they have lived the socialist lifestyle and they have fled it to here. And now we're thinking we want to propagate what people are fleeing their own country to enjoy here, our freedoms that we have for what they fled? No, it's not going to happen. Biden's plummet in the new polls comes after his poor showings in Iowa and New Hampshire, which has damaged his argument that he is the best candidate to defeat Trump this fall. God. Why are we so focused on the people? What are their policies? They should take each candidate, black out their name, and have their policies side by side, and everybody should be able to read the policies and blindly say, without knowing what candidate said what, these are the policies I agree with, these are the ones I do not. And then you show them who their candidate is. Wouldn't that be something? I'll bet you most of you out there would be highly surprised at which candidate you would actually choose when you're looking at the actual policies and not the candidate. The Bloomberg campaign issued the memo on the day of the Democratic debate in Los Angeles, the first one that will see Bloomberg on stage. Yeah, we'll see how. We'll see how he does. His rivals for the nomination have already forecast their tax lines against him, focusing on his billions. Yeah, because he's a rich guy. And you say he's a rich guy, and they're going to tout to the left that hates rich people, evidently. Bloomberg is self-funding his campaign, and he's already spent $400 million, leading the Democrats to accuse him of trying to buy the presidency. And, of course, he's trying to buy the presidency. He's got the money for it. And that's what we're doing with American Politics Day, because remember, money is free speech nowadays, some freaking magical way. And the more money you have, the more free speech you have. Money shouldn't be in politics. I don't think money should be in politics. I don't think who is president or who is nominated should depend on how much money you have. When was the last time we had a president that wasn't at least a millionaire? I don't know. That's what I got for you on this one. I appreciate your valuable time. Get your news from multiple sources here, dissenting opinions. There's nothing wrong with it. Just stay educated, stay away from personal attacks, educate yourselves. Get multiple sources, man. Dissenting opinions are pretty cool to listen to because you challenge yourself, and when you come out on the other end, you're either more secure in your belief system, or you've changed your belief system and therefore are more secure in your belief system because you have shed some bad ideas. Anyways, that's what I got for you. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.